Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in as always, and thanks ever so much for all your continued support. Likes, subscribes, shares, comments, discussions, hints, tips and tricks, all massively appreciated. Right, might be one, a bit of a rush, two, a little bit disjointed today because we've got rather inclement weather. Weather forecast said storms and rain throughout yesterday. It wasn't, it was boiling hot, it was really close. Definitely should have got into some car cleaning, but didn't. Today, same again. 76% chance of rain by the hour, on the hour until 4, but it's bright at the minute. So, world keeps spinning. Just got to keep cracking on. Right, so today we are doing Magi Foam, slightly more metered or measured tests. So we've got 50ml of Magi Foam in 500ml of water in the MJJC, and we've got 100ml of Magi Foam in 500ml of water in the Autobrite Polar Blaster. And we'll see how those two, we'll do a split 50-50 on the car to see how those ratios deliver, what the cling's like, etc, etc. And then in a subsequent video, if I still find that 100ml, those ratios, 100ml and 50ml, see how they get on. If they're really good, then we could drop it back and we can do 25 and 12.5, possibly. We'll see. So we'll do that today. That's going to be the new little test for the channel. And that's my own test, something that popped into my head the other day, you know, having discussed the 1 or 2 inches in the bottom, which is a ridiculous instruction. So we'll start hammering into that and get it a bit more scientific, a bit more accurate. And having used Wet Coat last week end on videos for the channel, a very good friend of the channel suggested that we try 40ml of Gyeon Wet Coat in the MJJC, and we deliver it like you would with Auto Glim, Polar Seal, or indeed the Halfords product. And nothing remarkably new to comment on any other products. We're doing straight up Garage Therapy 1 wheel shampoo, 10ml in the wheel bucket for a very delicate yet frugal and effective wash on the wheels. And I know it's an empty bottle. I used the last 2 portions, 40ml in the rinse bucket for additional lubrication and encapsulation in the rinse bucket, which is it's a procedure or process that I'm beginning to really enjoy. 20ml will be fine, but I've put 40 in, use up the last bit. And I've mixed up another bucket ready. They're not there now, but the birds were all waiting. One's pooed on the car already. They seem to be multiplying at an alarming rate. So, as mentioned in a previous video, I now like to have a bucket of rinseless mixed up ready, so every morning when I come out to get the Fabia to go to work, I can then do poo rinse on the Foz, just to ensure I'm not getting any acid bird poo burning the paint on the Foz. And last but by no means least, this isn't the last part of the process, obviously the Gyeon is, but for the contact wash we're using Garage Therapy 1 car shampoo V3, and let's just treble check because it's been a while. So this is 10ml for a moderately dirty car in a 4 to 5 gallon bucket, 20ml for a heavily soiled car, and for extra cleaning power, suds and lubrication. Anyway, so 20ml is the upper limit in a bucket, but I'm going to do 50ml in 500ml of water in the MJJC. Get the car covered and then do the contact wash with that method. Right, let's get I'll pause this, get the camera down, and we'll get a wheel done, and we'll have a look at the efficiency and performance of the just straight car shampoo, the wheel shampoo, and then we'll start getting the foam on lickety split before it rains again. Right, I can feel the rain probably tempting fate, but hey ho. Like I say, if it's disjointed, I apologise. I did consider a number of things today. I thought maybe I'll do part 2 of Fiesta and we'll have a little chat around that. Another part of me thought I've been meaning another video mini project on the pad is Fabia 10,000 mile long-term review. Also been contemplating putting together a video around that. So I've set up my cameras for sort of every eventuality. I was going to do car review inside, obviously. So those 2 methods are good if the weather's a bit inclement, but doesn't provide the nicest backdrop, etc, etc. But as I say, with the weather being sort of up and down, I thought, you know what, I'll get out and get a quick clean out the way. And as I say, I've got all the equipment set up for every eventuality, so that if I decided to do clean, DJI was ready. If I decided to shoot inside the car, the GoPro and all the associated mics and mounts are ready. Anyway, enough of that. To the product. Nice, gentle, frugal, effective, easy. Just what's needed for not enormously dirty Fabia maintenance wash. In case any eagle-eyed viewers have seen that, I missed a section that was out of my direct line of sight. Hopefully that's got that. There we go. Wonderful. Just what the doctor ordered. Right, I'm going to get round and get them done and then hope that the rain stays away, but it is sort of starting to increase somewhat, but we shall see, and I hope to provide good solid continuity as always. Right, see you in a while. Get them wheels done and then we'll get looking at Magifoam. So that's the wheels done in very, very good time. One of the key things to point out about the product, which I've mentioned before when I did an isolated review of the Garage Therapy wheel shampoo, the manufacturer's claim regarding the bubbles and sort of the liveliness and the action remaining throughout the duration of the clean is 100% accurate, which is sort of unusual to some degree. You know, I mean that light-heartedly, obviously. Anyway, the rain's picking up, so this is going to be a 5-minute game off, and then I'll be back and we'll get straight into 2 different Magifoam dilution ratios. I'm not afraid of the rain. DJI is afraid of the rain, and I'm also aware that I don't want to be recording in rubbish weather conditions because it won't be a pleasurable viewing experience. So I'll be back in a moment. Right, well, it's not entirely clearing up, and the weather forecast only gets more gnarly as the day progresses, so let's get stuck in nonetheless. So we'll do 50mm in the MJJC first. Just get the delivery on the go. Lovely. So that is 50ml of product in 500ml of water, and incoming as quick as possible. £100ml of product in 500ml of water. And you can clearly see the difference. A little bit more sort of collecting and layering on that side, and a little bit more free flowing on the right. But both perfectly usable for a summer maintenance wash. We can just watch that for a bit. So we're starting to get some islands just showing. Also got better movement, obviously, as you can see on the arches. Just getting some nice movement there. But the thicker product is moving nicely too, as we can see. So all good, no complaints. No complaints at all. What that indicates to me is that for a maintenance wash, we can go even weaker. So that'll give me something thrillingly exciting to do for you all next week. Just come back a little bit with the camera, and we'll have a look at what the activity's like in terms of, we're not looking at cleaning power, but I am interested in how it rinses off. Always a good time to analyse the thickness. So that's good. Nice little dwell time on that. Nice little dwell time on both. In fact, the example on the right, the weaker version is perfectly adequate, and the example on the left, the thicker, more concentrated version is also perfectly adequate. Nice, nice. Nice, nice. All good. No complaints. No complaints there at all. Right, let's pull the camera back, get the car totally covered, and with both, just going to bang both on there. Got to be used. So let's have a little play with, let's do the thinner one first, I think, for obvious reasons, because then we can layer up the thicker at the end. Right. Good opportunity to do the arches. Get that bird poo. So another thing to note is that, or another thing we have discovered, 500ml, more than adequate to do a car of this size, if you take into account that we'd used a little bit doing the initial tests as well. Nice, nice. And we'll just get that all used up. If the weather was better, I would have just got straight into cleaning another car with that. That is nice. Nice. Super job. Right, let's get that rinsed. We'll rinse aside on cam, then I'll pause, get the rest done. And then we've got a lucky break in the clouds. And we'll get into shampoo. Nice. Let's see how that's worked on the bird poo, which is VAR. Gone. Good. Nice, nice. Nice, nice. Let's just swoop the hose out the way so I don't destroy the camera. My apologies. Funny weather day. Nice. Well, that is wonderful. Right, I'll get that all rinsed off cam and then we'll start getting into shampoo. Right, I made a last minute executive decision. I have put 20 ml of Garage Therapy shampoo in 500 ml of water in the MJJC. I'm using the MJJC for no other reason apart from the fact it has measurement gauges on the side and the Autoglym one doesn't, and I didn't want to have to go indoors to measure. And the reason we're using 20 ml is because I've done 40, 50, stronger before, but I haven't tried the manufacturer's prescribed amount, which is 20 ml in a bucket for dirty car. So theoretically, 20 ml in 500 ml liquid should cut the mustard. Also, if it doesn't, I can always add more. If I mix it up strong and then it comes out really thick, that's the end of my test. I can't go weaker unless I remix. There we go. So that is absolutely fine. So you will get away with 20 ml for the contact in 500 ml of water. No problem. And if you're thinking, well, what if there's not enough lubrication? Well, this is the benefit of having a splash of rinseless in the rinse bucket as well. Sorry, I've got to rinse my paws. I've got a healthy obsession with ensuring no granular particles on any contact surfaces. So that is more than adequate in the shampoo department. Standard added benefit of this method is that you can clearly see where you have and haven't been, and rinseless in the bucket working great as always. Right, let's do the customary slipperiness test, slickness test. A little bit of weight in the sponge. Lovely, lovely. That is great. Nice. Apologies. And that is all we need. Fabulous. Right, I'll get that section all done off cam, and then we'll be back for Gyeon delivered using the Canon. Right, well, allegedly, it's not going to get any better. If anything, it's going to get worse. And, well, if nothing else, at least we'll get real world how the wet coat performs, and I may not even have to dry it. Anyway, we've got 50 ml of Gyeon Wet Coat in 250 ml of water. Nice, and the delivery is as we have come to expect from Polar Seal or Halford's Advanced Ceramics. So let's get that all over the car, and then we'll evenly distribute and get rinsing. Well, we got no problem with it drying on the panel, that's for sure. Right, I'm going to pause, get the camera, we'll have a look at the rinsing action, and then we'll wrap that one up before I start losing equipment. So, despite the inclement weather, should be a nice real world example. And as we've come to expect from Gyeon, it works a treat. Right, I'm going to put the equipment in the car for a second. Get that all rinsed, and then we'll wrap that one up. See you in a moment. And that is that. Needless to say, I'm not drying the car because the rain is getting harder. But we've got a lovely bead pattern, Gyeon evenly distributed, doing its job as per normal. And I'm gonna hustle all the kit away quickly, not getting the tripod out again, because I don't want it to get soaked. But it's done a good job. Done a good job. Anyway, I know it's a bit of a funny one, but I hope you enjoyed that one as always. Let's try the forward-facing cam. That's what I was about to say. Anyway, as I say, hope you enjoyed that one as always. Apologies about the weather. It's been a bit funny. Game on, game off, game on, game off. Apologies about that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that one as always. I very much did, as always, irrespective of the weather. It's always good fun cleaning the car. Can't go wrong. Anyway, thanks for tuning in as always, and I will see you again very, very soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.